New Zealand, I'm Mark Sainsbury. Tonight on Close Up.
The animals can't cry out for help. Animals like this can't resist an attack.
He beat and strangled his partner's dog to death. Does his punishment fit the crime? It's hardly a measure of masculine brawn, is it, to inflict unspeakable violence on a defenceless animal? Animal rights campaigners say cruelty is on the rise and it's time for the judiciary to step up and show society's abhorrence. The SPCA is worried not enough offenders are doing jail time, so it's enlisted the free services of some 20 high-powered lawyers, many of them QCs, to push the boundaries in court. Now, in a moment, we'll speak to one of those legal heavyweights, David Jones, QC. But first, Michael Holland, with a case described as one of the worst examples of animal cruelty the street-hardened inspectors have ever seen.
Wayne Vernon Joseph Williams, it was callous and it was deliberate. It was your intention to kill this dog, and indeed you did.
So that with, you know, from a strong male.
She was named Gigi, a 12-year-old foxy cross.
It was horrendous what that dog went through. Just horrendous.
And this is the man she blindly trusted with her life. That man today, though...
Let's ask if Mr. Williams can be seated, please. He's having difficulty standing at the stage. He's advised me that he has not slept for 72 hours.
No longer so big and brave, looking more like a pathetic, whimpering animal himself, as the judge took his turn at wielding the big stick.
You see, animals can't cry out for help. Animals like this can't resist an attack.
And then he picked the dog up by the neck and strangled it to death.
Just holding it up like this?
That's right.
Vicky Border's been with the SPCA for 9 years.
Because some of the things we see on a day-to-day basis still shocks us.
She says it's cases like Gigi's that motivate her, but conversely, this particular case has brought her to a crossroads in her career.
I want prison time for this, and I really, really have to look at my job if I don't get it. Why am I doing it?
You're serious about that?
I am serious about it. He's a good boy.
But Vicky says she can count on one hand the number of prison terms she's seen, and wonders if Gigi too will be discarded cheaply by the courts.
The pathologist stated that it was extremely deep bruising, and you can see a large area there where the dog would have just sustained beating after beating, basically.
Those repeated beatings just the start for the foxy, who managed to break free and crawl under the South Auckland house, only for Williams to use his soothing master's voice.
And managed to persuade that poor little thing to come back out.
And that dog is showing good faith in its master,
Yep.
even though it's had a hiding.
Yep. Yep, for, you know, whatever the dog thinks that she did wrong, she obviously thought that all was okay now. So came out and just got cornered.
A sharp-eyed teenage neighbour alerting authorities as Williams desperately tried to convince his fiancée that her long-time pet had died accidentally.
Gigi felt those blows. She felt gasping for air.
If you had the opportunity of a chat with Wayne Williams, what would you say to him?
I would really like to know what pushed that button. Why? What made you do it?
We've got to fight for them all the way. And we've got to see justice for them, just as we see justice for cruelty to any person.
If you could step back from your official responsibilities, you'd tear strips off them.
Yeah? Yeah, I would.
You'd have a good old go.
Absolutely.
Maybe the judges will see the link. Everyone knows the link between cruelty to animals and cruelty to people, and in particular children.
So to court this morning, and Vicky's worried the penalty won't be severe enough.
I'm the voice of the animals, and, you know, if this guy doesn't get prison for murdering a dog, what's the point of that voice?
And William's sole supporter in court doesn't think much of our camera. You got something you want to say? What's your problem?
He is incredibly remorseful for what has happened. It has had a monumental effect on his personal life.
Imprisonment must be imposed, and a sentence near to the maximum, at least, must be imposed.
That maximum 3 years, but the judge gives Williams credit for his guilty plea, being a first-time offender, and his apparent remorse.
I detect, however, that the remorse may not be so much in relation to the animal itself and what you've done, but more in relation to the position you find yourself in today. I consider that an appropriate sentence in your case is to be one of 4 months imprisonment.
There